Hello, I'm Ilaria Rubey. I'm a spiritual mentor, and I help people to become aware of who we really are, of our spiritual nature, of our infinite essence. What we are going through at a collective level is a deep shift of identity. Uh, we are moving from our identification with the self we have believed to be, the self which is this physical body that will disappear one day and that come from who knows who, where, and with which is powerless in regard of the circumstances, and which is separate from other beings and from what is seemingly outside of himself. We are moving from this paradigm, from this sense of identity that we have, maybe all that you're listening, grown up thinking to be, and we are reconnecting to the knowledge, to the experience of another dimension of ourselves, a dimension which is formless, which is out of time, which is one with all that exists, so that doesn't know separation. And this essence has a creative quality as well. Is what we can call consciousness, to just agree on a word that we all maybe have heard and start to become familiar. It's a dimension which transcend the physical and at the same time include the physical, in the sense that all that is matter, it exists inside of who we really are, which is this formless consciousness, this emptiness, which is creative as well. This shift of identity, it calls from a change in all the aspects of our life. The way we relate to ourselves, the sense of identity, so the idea itself of who I am, shift, and the whole process of awakening and transforming and opening is about anchoring this knowledge as an experience, not as another belief, but as an experience into every moment of our life experience here on this planet. This is what awakening is about. So today I wanted to talk about fear. I had just finished a workshop in which we discuss about fear, and I opened my workshop with the setting of an intention of all the person which are present, and two of them started the circle by saying that their wish, their intention for tonight was to learn to overcome fear. And I felt immediately when I heard that something inside of me that has constricted, that's my signal, my inner guidance saying me here something is resisting, something is not in alignment. Now, fear is the subproduct of our identification with a self that we are not, with an idea of who we are, which is not responding to the truth of who we are. So fear is a result of this not well placed sense of identity. Overcoming fear, it seems to engage a sort of war against our unconscious part, the part of ourselves that are not remembering the truth. Now, the point is, the part of ourselves that want to fight with fear, the need to overcome the fear, is still identified with an idea of who I am. From the infinite standpoint of my real nature, I don't need to fight fear. Fear is not the problem. From that standpoint, fear just reveals itself to be an illusion. So, how to go about fear, any kind of fear? Fear of rejection, fear of lack of any kind, fear of death, of disappearing. How to go about what I deeply feel, which is in alignment with the remembrance of my real identity, is to first accept fear, be curious about, be attentive, get to know what the fear is saying. This part of me which is not remembering who I am is seeing himself and the reality in an illusionary way. So if I can go to look at this perspective, I'm already the perspective of the soul looking at the part which is not aware of being the infinite that I am. I think transmutation, it doesn't happen with the willingness to overcome fear, but the willingness to bring the consciousness into the fear. Consciousness is love. Consciousness is who we are. So is the light that we are. And when the light that we are meet the shadow get enlightened. It's just the way it works. I don't need to work on the fear. I just need to be the consciousness in the presence of it. And if I am the consciousness of who I really am, when the fear crosses by and I get lost in it, I cannot see it. But in the moment that I can see it, it means I created a distance, a space between me as the one that is looking at the fear that is crossing my system, that is in my range of attention. In that moment, I'm no longer the fear, I'm the watcher. And the watcher is who I am. Is not the self that I have believed to be. It's the space in which that self seems to happen. So this is what I really wanted to say. I think that translated in a much more maybe heart-based terms, I sometimes visualize the fear as a child. Maybe the me, so this form that I am kind of habiting now, and that is living inside of the infinite that I am. I can see the fear as a version of Hilaria at 5 years old, which is believing something about herself, about life, because she doesn't have at that age or at that level of consciousness the awareness of the truth of her, who she really is. And so I can treat that fear, that fearful self, that version of myself as a child, embracing her, allowing her to come closer to me. I'm not her. I am the space that can hold that child. I am the parent as consciousness that can teach her another way. But what we do with our child when they cry, we don't scream them ideally. Love is not about screaming them to stop to cry, or it's not neither wanting to overcome them, wanted to change them. It's about understanding, it's about compassion, it's about allowance, it's about welcoming, it's about loving, reassuring, talking into a new way of seeing things, but not because I wanted to change them. I can totally accept the moment in which a child is crying without wanting to fix him, because I'm not scared about his pain or her pain. If I'm really feel safe in front of this pain, I can allow that pain.